Welcome to Creative Crits. Today we have some really exciting things for you. We have a Call of Cthulhu game, GM'd by Jeff Richard.
Hi there.
Jeff is the chair and creative director at Chaosium.
Correct.
And we have a really exciting day of games. To tell you a little bit about our sponsors, we are sponsored by C4 Labs. They make awesome dice trays. If you want to show one.
Vanna White this.
Yeah. We are also sponsored by Last Game Board, which does digital game playing systems that you can have physical minis on digital maps, which is really cool.
I am absolutely not going to pick this up.
Yeah, it's kind of pricey, but yeah, don't pick that up. Our other two sponsors are Mithril Armory, which we will be having a giveaway during the stream to people live in our audience of 1020s. 1020s are little metal D20s that you put together. They're like a little metal puzzle that you piece together. And our last sponsor is 1985 Games. They have these really cool cutout modular map systems that you can have like full maps of different cities and stuff like that, and you can have it for like $40, which is like incredibly affordable. But to hand it over to our amazing GM, Jeff.
Hi there, I'm Jeff Richard. I'm as said, I'm the chair and creative director of Chaosium, and I'm going to introduce all my players in a moment, but let's get us to where the scene is here, because as you all know, it's been a tough trek up to the Owens brothers mine here, and you all we're going to find out just how tough it was in a moment. But you guys have made your way through the gorge, through canyons, cliffs, rock slides, gosh knows what all has happened there, and you have finally made your way to the Box Canyon where the Owens brother mine is. And I'll describe the scene in a moment, but this is the point where we've got to kind of jump back and figure out how we got here. So let me introduce our first player here, and this is
Meg Rhymes.
Meg Rhymes, who has organized this together. If you recall, you were given a bounty.
That's right.
Of what was it? $20, $30?
$20.
$20.
Not a lot in this day and age, even if it doesn't sound like it.
Big money, and especially for a newly arrived bounty hunter, $20 to get together a group of folk and check out what's happened to the Owen brothers. And there's a little of an ulterior motive here that if something bad happened to the Owens brothers, that might not necessarily be a bad thing, because then it's a productive working mine that's doing several $100s worth of silver a week with just a few prospectors. There's a little bit of a possible ulterior motive for you there.
But we'll see how profitable this is in the end. So
let's jump back to Leadville a couple of days ago, where you put together the folk that you got recruited into bringing up here. So would you introduce them and figure out how you got them on board?
That's right. Well, knowing that I was going to be off looking for a couple of fellas that might be injured or and in some way not having a good time, I went out and sought the doctor of the town, Miss Annabelle Lee.
Miss Annabelle Lee, that's correct. I am the doctor vet or vet doctor, depending on what is hurt in the area.
So do you treat animals and people?
And people.
Which pays better?
Definitely the animals.
Okay, because life is cheap in Leadville.
And me being a woman of insatiable curiosity, well, I just couldn't help but say yes to the venture.
And is your interest in this? It's straight on the up and up. You don't have any ulterior motive to try to claim jump.
Oh, absolutely not, honey.
You are if I recall, you're a pretty respectable, upright person in terms of her morals. Well, or am I wrong on that?
No, I always try to be a respectable and upright woman. Sometimes some of my more intellectual endeavors get me into a bit of trouble. Not everybody's up with the ingenuity that the human race has been coming up with lately, but I find it all fascinating.
Awesome. And who else did you? So you got a doctor with you. Who else did you manage to recruit into looking after the Wynn brothers? Did you get a local guide?
I did get a local guide. I got, we got a couple Chucks in town, and I'll be introducing both of them at some point. Our local guide here today is Dirty Chuck.
Dirty Chuck.
Dirty Chuck, long-time farmer, long-time rancher and cowboy, and he knew the area well enough that I figured that in order to find this particular mine, as such locations are jealously guarded by their owners, I was going to need some help. So I got Dirty Chuck on board.
Dirty Chuck.
Sir. Been cowboying outside of Leadville about 50 years now, so I know the land pretty good, and I'd just like it known that before other Chuck moved in, people just called me Chuck, which figures.
and Dirty Chuck, boy, does it grate on you that everybody calls you Dirty Chuck to distinguish you from the other Chucks?
Yeah, man can find any reason to be unhappy. Just gotta keep on keeping on.
So Dirty Chuck, did you know where the Owens brothers mine was, or you just had a good idea?
You see them coming and going. You get the lay pretty well. I figure a couple days look, you can track something down.
Okay. So humor me here, Chuck. Could you roll against your track skill at this point in these beautiful dice trays?
You got it. Oof. It's going to be an 87. That's
okay. So
it took a while.
Just to get you guys a little bit,
How bad of a failure is that?
That's a pretty bad failure.
87 on a 55.
It's not great. It's over half.
So the first thing I want to do in terms of a flashback, we're not going to handle this, but Dirty Chuck, you led them up the gorge, up Sullivan's Gap, through the gorge up into the mountains there. You took a left into the box canyon where you thought their mine should be, and instead you found a mountain lion. So what I would like to first do is let's just roll a quick 1d4 to see who is already injured before we even start the session. Number 4. 1, 2, 3. Dirty Chuck.
That's going to be me.
Well, that's appropriate.
Dirty Chuck, you've already suffered 2 hit points of damage before the start of the This is called CATHULU, where every point. A quick question here, Dirty Chuck. Did you kill the mountain lion, or did you just get mauled by it and let it run off?
I imagine Miss Grimes might have taken care of it.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You have a gunfighter.
Yeah, that's right.
Miss
And
Grimes,
I probably have something. One of my guns probably put an end to that thing.
you tell me which gun. I'm not even going to make you roll because you are an amazing gunfighter.
Yeah, I figure I pulled out my Lamat for that one and turned it to shotgun mode. Because if that thing was already close enough, I'm not messing around. I'm going to get out the gun that's good at close range. And on the off chance that I miss, sound's probably going to scare it off.
And ladies and gentlemen and people in the studio audience, for those of you who do not know what a Lamat is, why don't you give a quick description of this really kind of entertaining gun from the 1880s?
It's wild. So the Lamat was a gun that was, in general, a 9-shot revolver, which is already very interesting on its own. But in addition to that, there was a little switch that you could hit with your thumb, and upon hitting that, it turned the gun into a shotgun. A pistol shotgun, but a shotgun nonetheless, that had a single shot in it, and it was, it's a very interesting design from that perspective. If I'm not mistaken, it was primarily used in the South by Confederate Armed Forces, and I think, picked it up off of a target that happened to have one at some point.
So you managed to kill a mountain lion.
That's right.
With your Lamat.
Yes.
Quick question here. Did you just leave it dead there, which is so common, sadly, in the 19th century? Or are you going to annoy the group of the party by insisting that not only you guys lost, but you need to skin the hide because it's worth $20?
Out of curiosity, how late in the day is it at this point?
You tell me. How screwed up was your tracking there, Dirty Chuck?
It was pretty bad.
And
It was 87, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
What is
I
your
believe
track skill?
we're burning some daylight here.
50, I think.
50? Okay.
55.
55.
so it's
Okay,
late
so-
afternoon.
It's late afternoon.
And before you to make that decision here, I want to introduce the last member of the team here
Yes.
because Crazy Chuck. How irritated? First off, how irritated are you with Dirty Chuck at this point?
Well, first to introduce myself, I'm Crazy Chuck, and
Do you
Chuck
let anybody
Wilbur,
call you
and-
Crazy? Everybody calls you Crazy Chuck. Does anybody call you Crazy Chuck to your face?
Oh, it happens occasionally.
Okay.
The thing is I'm an engineer, and after I got a few circumstances of engineering holes in buildings with dynamite, I became Crazy Chuck. Yeah, but I'm an engineer. I'm a craftsman. I work on my train. Beautiful number 5. She's a beaut. But yeah.
So are you getting irritated yet with Dirty Chuck for having gotten you guys totally lost and attacked by a mountain lion?
I think I'm more amused that Dirty Chuck over there got a little dirtier. But he's living up to his name, and I think I'm fine with
Yeah,
it.
laugh.
Worst case scenario, I could have engineered a hole in that mountain lion, so I'm not too worried.
Doctor, you are a doctor after all. Dirty
Indeed.
Chuck got mauled by a mountain lion. Were you able to treat Dirty Chuck?
Oh, well, I certainly hope so. Would you like me to take a look at that for you, honey?
I'll do my best to walk it off. Thank you.
Are you sure?
Let's get where we're going. We can take it from there.
All right.
Okay, because you can, with the first aid skill, you can restore 1d3 lost hit points.
Good to have you back to full.
And that is, by the way, this is Call of Cthulhu, so we don't have any healing potions, healing spells, or anything. So
Just these healing hands, honey.
how bad is 2 hit points out of your characters?
Call that 18%.
Okay. Ouch. You sure you don't want a
I'm
band-aid?
gonna try and bite my pretty little eyelashes and just,
All right, let's be on with it.
So much better if I could just.
Fine, but
All right.
stand corrected.
All right, roll against your first aid.
All right. My first aid is 60. That's a 27.
Okay,
That's,
you
that's-
can restore 1d3 damage.
1d3. Let's get d6 here. That would be 3.
So, your those scratches were entirely superficial, and thanks to the doctor's bandages that she put on you, you are able to just walk this off.
Much obliged.
You're certainly welcome.
So you guys, you ran into a mountain lion. Was there anything else, Doctor? Was there anybody else that you had to try to do first aid? Was this the only accident that on this trip up into the gorge happened, or were there other altercations, a rock slide or claim jumpers or anything? It's up to you.
Oh, well, maybe a twisted ankle or two, but nothing too serious.
Who twisted their ankle? Was that you, Crazy Chuck?
I think it was probably me. I was looking at setting some engineering on this mountain lion, and it might have tripped a little bit, and I was just trying to rush my work, and a true craftsman knows not to rush.
So I just want you to just throw off a point off your hit points.
Okay.
And this is all part of the joy.
That's a sprained ankle. It's more than a twisted ankle. That's a sprained
You
ankle.
sprained your ankle here. It hurts. You've got a little bit of a limp. It's annoying. It's only 1 hit point of damage there. Did you skin the mountain lion despite the fact it's getting late in the afternoon?
Does anyone here actually know how to skin a mountain lion? Because I'm not going to pretend
worth
to.
$20.
And it's worth $20 if it's in good condition. But if no one knows how to skin the mountain lion, that's not good condition.
Would that be a survival?
It could be. I'll accept any skill that seems reasonable. Do you have a survival?
I'm going to see how skinnable this little critter is?
I say we skin it. There's
So
no
we have
reason to leave it here.
the Southern Belle doctor is sitting out, bringing out the big skinning knife and carving off the skin of the mountain lion
Listen,
here.
all of God's creatures deserve a little bit of peace. That would be a 33. My survival's a 30. Can I spend or 35? Can I spend 5 luck to bring
Yes,
that
you
down to
can.
30?
Because, there is nothing like spending luck on a totally tangential skill contest.
I'm sure it won't come back to haunt me at all.
I don't see what the issue here is.
So you got thanks to the doctor, you guys got, you're already ahead of the game of this. You've
We're
killed a
already
mountain
coming out
lion,
with
skinned
profit.
it. You got, someone you can sell this for $20, and you've made it to the Owens brother camp. So let me rewind a little bit further. So the Owens brothers, they're a group of local miners. Obviously, they're mostly brothers, except for the one member of the group, Newt, who isn't actually related to them at all, but he's called one of the Owens brothers because that's just how things rolled back in the 1880s, I guess. And they've got a very productive silver mine about 20 miles outside of Leadville. So it's been a long trek into the mountains here. And their banker, the one that they deposit their gold or their silver every week with, was very concerned and hired you to check up on them. And you've made it to their camp.
It's a start, at least.
And the camp here is in a box canyon, and you can see there's a number of tents, prospecting. It looks like there's 4 prospecting tents. There is a little wooden enclosure, and then at the end of the box canyon, you can see the mine entrance. And from here, you can even see the mine entrance normally has a wooden gate so that they could close it off because claim jumping is a big problem. The gate is opened.
That's not worrying at all, I think.
So, and the camp itself consists of nothing more than 4 tents and a small roofed shelter for mules. There are no animals. There are no animals here. There are no people here.
So I was gonna ask.
Can we spot if there's recent activity?
Well, yes, you can. Do you have a spot hidden skill?
I have a heck of a spot hidden skill.
Well, why don't you roll against your spot hidden?
I got a 61 on a spot hidden of 75.
Excellent. Well, you're able to see here that although there has been a lot of traffic in the camp here, and there's been a lot of wind and weather in the last few days. Probably there's a light dusting of snow from yesterday because, it's the Rocky Mountains. You can get snow all the time. But you find 2 Colt revolvers in the dust of the camp. All of their cartridges have been fired. And you also find a handful of spent Spencer rifle cartridges. There's been a gunfight here.
Okay.
There is indeed.
I'll communicate that information to the rest of you.
A gunfight? Well, that's not quite what I was expecting to find up here.
Claim jumpers and all that. It could have just been a scuffle in that regard. But
There's a lot of money on the line in this here mine, so I'm not surprised if somebody's trying to stake an extra claim on this land.
But there's nobody. You don't see any bodies,
Okay.
and
No
you don't
bodies, no
see
blood.
anybody. There's nobody here. I mean, I assume you haven't gone in.
Is there any blood or like any sign of?
I would like you to try one more spot hidden.
That is definitely a success, but not a critical success.
What did you roll?
That is
Okay.
a 48.
That's not a
No, it is. You can see there's been a lot of activity here, but you don't find it. There's no blood in the dust here. I mean, you haven't. Have you checked in the tents or?
No, I think this is just a cursory.
Yeah.
If I see some guns guns hanging around in empty cases and stuff like that. Just looking for some blood, seeing if like anything's clearly amiss. I'll take your lead.
Yeah, there still might be folk around here, so I'm gonna get one of my revolvers ready just in case.
Okay.
Signal to the others that if they've got weapons, just, maybe be ready to use them. I don't think anyone's here, but pays to be prepared, and I'm going to go start poking around in the tents to see if we can find anything.
Does anybody else have deciding at this point that maybe they should have a loaded and ready weapon?
I'll get the rifle ready.
Okay.
Good.
What do you have? You have just a rifle?
But Winchester lever action.
Okay.
If it's okay, I'll have a shotgun.
Of course it's okay. I mean, this is the Old West. I think people have shotguns.
Okay.
Doctor, are you armed or unarmed?
Oh, I'm unarmed. I know how to fire a rifle when need be, but there seems to be lots of other capable folks around, so I'm just going to make sure that my eyes are out and looking for anything that might be out there.
If we find some more of those bullets, go ahead and use this. You never know when you need to.
What is?
It's one of the Colts that it was a Colt, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the empty Colts that I found. In case you need to undo some of your doctrine.
Right.
You just know how to use rifles? You just know how to use rifles.
Yeah.
So you got.
Don't much fancy the idea of you walking around unprotected. I do have an extra rifle if you would like to carry that.
That seems like probably a better idea if you want me to be armed.
I'll hand off
Well,
my...
that one was there's no bullets in it, so I thought,
I'll hand off my Springfield trapdoor.
Exactly, it makes a good club.
Oh, just like a crease. I was like...
I'll hand off my Springfield trapdoor.
Okay.
It is single shot, so be ready to reload every time you take a shot.
So there's 2 large tents and 2 smaller tents, and it sounds like you guys are planning to check out the tents.
Yes, I'm poking around in the tent probably. Later.
What looks like in all of the tents, there's clothing and personal belongings have been scattered around the tents. Not like these people are messy, but like somebody has been going through the personal belongings looking for something.
Certainly not the first folk here.
And in one of the tents, there is another Colt revolver with an old Spencer rifle. Again, all of the cartridges in the revolver have been fired. And there are only 2 unfired rounds in the Spencer Rifles magazine. There are also 2 gun belts, 2 hats, and 2 pairs of boots in the tent. So clearly that wasn't what whoever was looking for stuff was looking for. And I'd like one more spot hidden. And you guys can all roll for this, because I assume you're all searching.
I reckon so.
Yeah, that's
No.
That's it.
96.
No, you do not. You're more concerned about, clearly you are more concerned that there was some sort of a gunfight or something.
Yes.
I hit half.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I got half as well.
You got half as well?
No dice.
No dice at all?
Yeah, 89.
Oh.
Not as bad as me with the 96, so...
Oh, right.
Well, Doctor and Crazy Chuck, you all are moving stuff around, and you find that it's pretty obvious there was something buried in one of the tents. You can see the loose soil, and when you uncover it, it's a wooden wooden trunk containing several small bags filled with silver dust and nuggets.
Ooh.
Oh, my word.
And
Well, that's a find.
just to give you a feel for it, it's probably worth about over $1,000 worth of silver.
That's an incredible find.
So, Crazy Chuck, Doctor, now $1,000 in 1881 is more than a year's income. It's several. I mean, it's probably it's like the equivalent of finding over $100,000 today of unmarked bills. So, first question is, what do y'all do with that?
And I might point out, too, the other 2 of us rolled badly enough, we might not have
Those
seen
2
it.
are outside of the tent.
So...
Outside of the tent and clueless.
What do you reckon that?
Doctor, I think that we just found, maybe a chunk of our retirement. Would you say we close this back up, bury it up, and
Not
find it
tell
up
the
later?
others?
Sometimes it's in our best interest to keep things a little bit more discreet.
Well, I don't know how I feel about that.
Exactly. How do you feel about that?
I don't feel quite right.
Well, about what? The stealing of the Owens brothers?
Oh, no. Just not giving it out to the others.
That's fine.
That's fine. Okay.
But we tried
I mean,
about
how well do you actually know Dirty Chuck?
I know him fairly well. I've worked on his old mess several times, and he's got a new stallion that I've seen a few times come in.
What do you say we buy him a new stallion and then keep the rest for ourselves? He'd be happy.
Now,
His horse will be less dirty.
now, Mr. Crazy Chuck, my mama did not raise me to keep
Mr. Crazy
secrets.
is fine.
Mr. Crazy, my mama did not raise me to keep secrets from those that I'm working with. I think that we should tell the others and split this evenly. And I mean, it's more than enough to go around.
How about this? After the mission's complete, we come back here and whoever's left will split.
I just want to remind you that avarice is one of the 7 sins, and that's all I'm going to say on it.
I'm going to give you a luck point back purely for pointing out the 7 sins there.
That was beautiful.
So, are you going to tell the others that you found? Are you going to tell the others that you found silver, or are you at least willing to be quiet about it right now?
Oh, I'm going to come over. I'm going to raise my voice as loud as I can, and I'm going to say, "Oh, Mr. Dirty Chuck and Miss May,
Yes.
we found something over here that I think you'd want to take a look at."
All right, she should. I mean, at this point, I'm sure Crazy Chuck is crazy with frustration here.
I think he's probably. I assume there's like a cot in here. He's probably on that cot, like pouting.
Well, because you two failed on your spot hidden on this, but you did find the equipment tent that's filled with shovels, hammers, all the sort of stuff. Loads of rope, lanterns, lamp oil, all the sort of stuff that you would associate with a mining operation. Chain, lumber, bandages, wooden matches, and a case and a half of dynamite as well. Several of these tools and items have been scattered around the tent, but the doctor, and I'm forgetting her name again.
Annabelle Lee.
What?
Annabelle Lee.
Annabelle Lee. What a very good Southern name. Annabelle. Well, Annabelle has called you all over Dr. Annabelle. Do you all call her Dr. Annabelle or Dr. Lee?
What do you prefer to be called? Miss
Oh,
Annabelle,
it doesn't
Dr.
matter
Lee?
much to me. I perform my job the same way regardless.
Right, well, what is it, Dr. Lee?
We found this weird wooden trunk, and inside of it seems to be all the silver that the Owen brothers was collecting.
It's
much is in
nuggets. It's dust. It's there's a lot of it. There's well over $1,000 of silver there.
I was about to say I don't have much of an appraised skill. Accounting was never my strong suit, but enough I would gather.
Not too familiar with how much exactly this is worth either, but I got a ballpark.
Does anybody have a
idea.
decent appraisal skill?
How long have the Owen brothers been missing?
They've been missing for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
So they've missed. There wasn't a big concern if they missed one drop off. That's not. But now they've missed their second weekly drop off.
Okay.
And they normally do about a couple $100 of silver a week or so. Somewhere between a few hundred, low thousands. So this is probably at least a week's worth of what they would have normally brought.
Not to look a gift horse in the mouth here, but just from a practical standpoint, us walking up on these brothers while carrying their life savings on our backs might not put them in the best disposition to deal with us. Furthermore, not much of a philosopher, but talking about taking those life savings creates some of a moral hazard in terms of finding these gentlemen alive. So maybe we table this just for the time being.
I think
Yeah, that
that's
sounds
wise.
awfully clean for a dirty Chuck.
That's also very practical and pragmatic because, of course, what do people normally do if you steal over $1,000 of silver from them? What are they likely to do?
We might get a little crosswise
like me.
with them.
Right. So keep this here then for the time being.
For now, until we know more about what's happening in the mine and the brothers themselves.
Well,
So you guys gonna enter the mine itself?
I think so. I don't know. I don't see them around here unless it looks like there's been any kind of animal activity around. Could they have been fighting some kind of animal in here or anything like that?
Well, if they had been fighting an animal here, a quick calculation of the number of guns, that's 3 Colt revolvers that have had their entire load fired, plus a Spencer rifle. Actually, yeah. It's
That would be
either they are stormtrooper bad shots, or
Or that animal, or there was no animal to begin with, it was people. Besides, this, the
there's
way
over
the tents
20
are,
rounds have been shot.
the way the tents are in disarray doesn't exactly strike me as an animal searching through them. I think they were people.
That's right.
Not to mention, gate on that their mine is hanging open, which is unusual to say the least. I reckon something happened in there, something we should check out.
That's right. The wooden gate that was built across the mine, there's a wooden gate that's built across the mine opening, but it has been thrown off its hinges
Oh, so more than just
and
hanging
lies
open,
on the
it's,
ledge.
It's been taken apart.
And a quick check there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, if we're tabling the money discussion regarding that gate, I'd like to make a natural world check for tracks coming in and out of the mine.
Okay, please do that.
Oh, finally a success.
There is a lot of traffic going in and out of the mine.
All
So
right.
much that that there's been so much traffic here that it's really hard to say, any specific prints. But it is interesting that since yesterday's snow, there's been no activity going in and out of the mines.
Well, if they're down there, they've been down there a bit.
All right. Well, I think we should head down and see if anybody needs some help.
And one thing, just a quick thing, I'd like all of you guys to make a quick intelligence check. That's your int
Of
as a
course.
percentage.
Oh my.
Oh my, indeed. That is,
Oh!
0-0. What?
0-1.
Oh my.
I got 0-3. Oh my
I
gosh.
succeeded. That's all I got.
Those of you all,
I think we got 3 critical
Yeah, we got
successes.
all right,
critical
all right.
successes.
Those of y'all who
Critical
made your
success.
critical successes, those you notice. Hey, that's unusual. The padlock is still on the gate. That's the simple success. For those of y'all
That's
who
odd.
critical, this gate was broken open. It was clearly it was broken open. It's got a big heavy padlock. The heavy padlock is still chained together.
Yeah.
Something tore off the gate.
What kind of power or strength would it take to break something open like that?
I mean, it's a wooden gate. Wooden gates are not meant to be broken by a person pretty easily.
Does it look like mechanically something either blew it up or maybe broken and pried it open? Is it something that looks like it's either mechanical?
Well, you made it critical, so I'm gonna whatever question you have, I'm gonna to try to answer based on what you can deduce. It looks something tore the gate off its hinges and threw it.
We in bear
Okay,
country?
so like-
That's all I
like-
got.
This is bear country. There are grizzly bears in there.
Maybe we're back to your animal idea there, Doctor.
What do you say, Dirty Chuck?
Well, something big enough to tear a gate off.
That's mighty astute of you.
The tunnel itself.
Also, it's in there. So
Oh boy.
Is there any like marks that I'd recognize like on stone from like if a pry bar was used or something like that?
Normally I would make you make another roll, but you guys
can make
crit.
another roll.
No, you guys all crit here, so it doesn't look like it was pried.
Okay, thank you.
So and the mine itself, the tunnel leading into the mine is maybe 6 or 7 feet high and 5 to 9 feet wide, with a few wooden joists at irregular intervals that support the ceiling. By modern safety standards, this mine is a complete safety hazard. By the standards of 1881, it's a reasonably made prospecting mine for Colorado during the Silver Rush.
Okay.
Completely normal.
So what's your plan?
Let's grab some extra rope and some of those lanterns. Well, actually,
Oh,
no, yeah, we'll need
lanterns.
the lanterns.
Lantern's a good idea. I don't know if the sun can,
Sun is
get
setting.
inside of mine.
The sun is setting.
That too.
Not gonna matter one way or another down there.
If you don't mind, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if you took some of those bandages as well.
Oh, absolutely.
I might have, I'll take one of those lanterns and maybe some of my the engineering sticks that are in the barrel.
So you're gonna take some dynamite?
Yeah.
How much dynamite are you gonna take?
What is easily able to be thrown in a pack, maybe like
You tell me.
5 sticks.
Okay, 5 sticks. Now keep in
I
mind,
thought you were just gonna say yes.
I want you to keep in mind, again, it's 1881. How safe is dynamite?
Okay.
So I just want you to, you're fine with it, you're crazy, Chuck. You're used to dynamite.
I don't
but
like that.
I want you to just keep in mind that dynamite is...
Can I
And dynamite
Is
underground
dynamite,
is.
right?
Can I just look through the batch and maybe see if I can discern which ones are the least volatile? Of
Make a
the batch?
your mechanical repair skill.
Okay. Sounds
Which
good.
one doesn't have leaking?
Leaking. Oh no!
So, critical
That's
failure?
That's an 88.
Okay.
So you just grabbed at random 5 sticks of dynamite.
Want to spend luck? Do you have any luck to spend?
I don't think I want to. I think I just want to roll
Alright,
with the crazy
alright.
stuff.
Roll with it.
So you got 5 sticks of dynamite here.
I think I picked out the good ones.
The best
you-
ones, the best of the bunch.
You weren't looking at whether it was leaking. You were concerned that the fuse. So when you light this thing, it's gonna light, right? Who cares? I mean, dynamite, nitroglycerin always bleeds a little bit, doesn't it?
you don't get a lantern.
That was a bit.
They don't call me Mr. Crazy for nothing.
So that's the other. What other gear are you bringing into the mine? So you guys had asked before what kind of gear that you guys have. In reality, it doesn't. It's whatever you guys want. The bigger question is, what are you bringing down into the mines?
Well, I'm of course bringing my surgical kit. I got my little surgical bag, and it's got all my tools of the trade in it. Took those bandages, and I always carry around my little pamphlets and books that I have on the various religions that I've come across. But other than a lantern, if there's more than one.
Okay, so the only thing that you're bringing out of the mining equipment stuff is the lantern,
Yeah.
right?
And the bandages?
And some extra bandages.
Yeah.
I'd distinctly like to bring some rope. It strikes me as something that could be useful down there. And probably some pickaxes
Okay, and the rope-
and shovels.
There's a load of rope in the equipment tent. There's like there's 4 sets of rope. You think probably 50-foot lengths there. Now keep in mind 50
It's
feet
heavy.
of rope
It's heavy.
is a lot of stuff. There's also picks and shovels and hammers and all of that. So what are you gonna grab?
I think I'll grab one of the lengths of rope and see if I can set it comfortably, just like slung across.
Absolutely.
And I'll grab a pick and a shovel, and I'll toss one of them to whoever is like standing kind of near me, and then head off towards the door. I'm assuming that other people
Are you
will
taking
grab
a lantern or not?
I am taking a. Well, I have a lantern. I don't need to take one of these.
Okay, good.
I'll take a length of the rope, 1 lantern, and sure, I'll take the pickaxe if you take the shovel. So
Sounds fine by me.
How about you, Dirty?
Well,
was
did you
cool.
have a lantern?
Oh, sorry,
I have a
Tracy.
lantern.
Tracy.
All these chucks, it's hard to keep track of them.
Everybody gets a check.
So, you know, we have 2 lanterns. I think I'm going to take my 5 sticks of dynamite, and I think I'm going to go ahead and bring my wrench and my shotgun with me, and then maybe grab another one of these shovels.
Okay. So you guys are heading into the mine here with the stuff you took out of the equipment tent.
And
yes,
I'll
sir.
take point, Ms. Grimes, if you want to lead up at the back. That way we got a lantern on each end.
All right, sounds fine by
Works
me.
for me.
Final question is, do you have a ready weapon, or are you holding your lantern ahead of yourself? I want to kind of get a feel for how you guys are moving through a mine.
I'd like to really hug up on Dirty Chuck, despite him smelling a little bit like
And
horse.
you having a backpack full of explosives, that's great.
I'm just gonna have my shotgun next to you and ready just in case, because we know there's something big in here, and I'm gonna be trying to spot anything as you hold out the lantern.
Yeah. So I'll take the lantern. I think I've got the rifle offhand, but it's a 2-hand weapon, so it's just kind of there for if I need to set the lantern down, something like that.
So kind of hold that like this.
Yeah,
Right.
get it in front of the action. Just
And Dr. Lee, it's easy. So you're not even carrying very much stuff, are you?
I might hand the shovel off to you so I can have my lantern in one hand and my
Not
pistol
very
in the other.
strong, but I'll try
It's
my
a
best.
shovel. You'll be fine.
All right.
So you're just kind of this is all curious. It's
I'm
interesting.
just here for a good time.
Dr. Lee, have you ever been in a mine before?
Oh, I don't reckon I have.
It's interesting.
I'm just looking around, and what I've heard about mines is there's all kinds of shiny things in the walls. Do I see anything in the walls like that?
We'll get to that in a moment. And you're holding up the rear. You got your lantern and a gun.
Yep, I think I've got my Colt on me out now.
Well, the mine itself is, as I said, it's about 6 to 7 feet high, 5 to 9 feet wide, a few wooden joints at irregular intervals that hold up the ceiling. And there are a few side passages, most are only a few yards deep, where veins of ore were briefly followed or sought. At this point, you don't see any of the pretty silver stuff. But that being said, presumably the first silver stuff that they encounter, well, they cut it out and brought it back to town. A few dozen yards along the main passage, you can see Dirty Chuck and Crazy Chuck as you're in the lead. There is a Colt 45 revolver on the ground, and actually there are 3 Colt 45s. Oh, sorry, there's 1 Colt 45 on the ground.
man, we're already in the fur trapping business. We might as well get into firearms resale while we're at it.
So you're grabbing the
I'm gonna leave it. It'll be there when we head back.
okay.
Does it look like there's bullet ricochet or anything around in the?
Yeah, I mean, it looks there are 4 of the rounds have been discharged from the revolver and 2 unfired.
Can I smell the cartridges?
No, it happened a while ago.
All right.
Too long ago. So, and the other thing is, are you guys being quiet? Are you talking? Are you trying to hear?
There's been
carefully?
enough apparent gunfire. I don't know that I really want to waltz in there. So trying to take it a little low and slow, keep things to a whisper.
All right.
I'd like you guys to make a listen roll.
Okay. I do have listening. Oh, that's not very good.
I'll spend 5
Success.
luck to succeed, man.
Success.
Failure.
I also failed.
There's sounds here that you find very disconcerting. Sounds of creaking. When you're really careful, you can hear the creaking sound of timbers as you move through here.
You mean those support timbers that
The
are
support
keeping
timbers.
the dirt from falling on? Yeah, that's comforting.
And actually, from time to time, you hear the clattering sounds of rocks falling down within this. When you get quiet here and listen really carefully, Chuck, you can hear the fact that this is a mine that, well, has been built up to the code of the Silver Rush of 1881, which means this whole thing is rickety as hell, and you can hear it. How does that make you feel?
As somebody who spent every day of his entire life outside, I've had better days.
Final thing is, does anybody possess a science skill?
No.
Yes.
I
I have biology, specifically in science.
Okay, I just roll generally against your science
Just
skill here.
against my science. All right.
Where is science again?
That
Oh.
is a 9 out of 60.
A 09?
9 out of 60.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay, there is, now that you're getting into this here, there is silver here, Dr. Lee. There is silver. You figure, just looking at this, just going through, you've seen some veins here you think are probably worth at least, a few $1,000s worth of silver that is here in the mine. This isn't a worked out mine. There's good money here.
Okay.
Do you point this out to your?
Oh, absolutely. I go, oh, well, would you look at that?
Yeah, this is silver, guys.
How about that?
And how much do you think you make owning a little ranch? What's your credit rating?
We're probably 20, so we're probably clearing $200-300 a year.
How about you, crazy Chuck?
I have a credit rating that I think is actually surprisingly high. I think it's 25. Where is
25, I think.
Yep, 25. So I'm doing all right as like an
This is
engineer.
years worth of salary.
Yeah,
Dr. Lee, you can be nonchalant about all this. You've got a 50?
A 50 credit rating.
You have a house. It's a lot of money, but for you, it's more interesting intellectually.
Yes, I'm always liking new experiences. Money's just money,
And
Spoken like someone who has it.
May,
That's true.
this is more money than you've made in your entire life.
Yeah, shame I can't stick around to exploit it too long. But, let's stay on track here. As pretty as all this is, and as much as it's stirring up some interest, we got some boys to find.
That's true. It'll all be here, like the gun. It'll all be here when we come on our way back.
And I want to get you guys a feel for what it's like going through the mine here. Okay, right? We got these weird sounds. You've got some clear veins of silver going through. You're carrying your lantern over with your gun there. What do you think your visibility is like here?
Well, if this is a hurricane lantern, we're talking 25 feet at best. Yeah, and that'd be something big at 25 feet to really see it well.
And you just keep moving through the mine, yard after yard after yard. And, on a certain bit, you don't know how far you've gone. Maybe it's been also, does anybody have a pocket watch? Maybe Dr. Lee.
I probably do. I have some effects on me from my credit rating. I think a pocket watch might be something should carry around and not be late to her appointments after all.
When Chuck complains that it feels like you've been in here for over an hour, you are able to point out that it's actually only been about 20 minutes. But you're moving through the dark. You've got no visibility. There's creaking sounds. This whole thing has a feel, it's not that well built. I'd like everyone to make a sanity check.
There it is.
Hey.
First one of the day. Not too bad. Oh, I think I'm okay.
94.
What'd you get?
We're having a
89.
bad time.
Oh no,
What?
I got the checks.
We're both having a
I
bad
got under
time.
half. I'm fine. So.
I'd like you each to roll one. You two that failed. Those of you who are fine. It's a mine.
Yeah.
Big deal.
It's gonna be a little creepy.
Glad to
You
find that
two.
you're not claustrophobic, talking to me.
We're out there in the front, you know. It's a little.
I'd like you both to lose 1d3 sanity.
Oof.
All right.
Crazy Chuck, how much did you lose?
I lost 3 points.
You know, Chuck, you're actually, because your sanity to begin with
Oh, that's
is
right.
almost non-existent.
Uh-oh.
And you just lost over 10% of your sanity already just going into the mine.
They don't call me crazy for nothing.
You have an intense feeling of claustrophobia, and you know this mine is terribly constructed. You're an engineer. This whole thing is basically a cave-in waiting to happen. You know what these sounds are. It's the fact that they this thing is so badly built. Every time you hear rocks fall, you know it's just the beginning of the whole damn thing caving in. How do you feel?
Dirty. You know this thing's gonna collapse any second. Did you hear those creaks?
Please do not get buggy on me.
How much do you lose, Dirty?
All that it would take.
Just 1 point, and I'm relatively solid sanity-wise.
You're feeling a little jumpy, but crazy.
He ain't helping.
No.
If one of us trips or even like speaks a little too loud, this thing can come down.
Actually, I think I was doing okay until he started talking.
Yes. Yes. So you're going through, and crazy. You just keep the monologue going here. You hear creaks. You hear all sorts of stuff. Just keep the monologue going and drive Dirty as crazy as you are.
Don't you hear that? Dirty. Like, listen. Creak. There's thousands of pounds of rock overhead.
Hey,
No,
Mr. Dilbert,
Don't
do you want to still be allowed to carry the dynamite?
It's not about the dynamite. It's best in hands that know how to deal with it. Because
You're inspiring a lot of confidence right now.
Anything could set everything off.
Okay, really quickly, Dirty. I want you, because you're distracted by all this, I want you to make a spot hidden.
Oh, that's pretty good.
By 1 point.
Oh, you're having this conversation with Crazy, and you look at there, and you've got the light going forward, and you stop for a moment in the conversation because you almost walked into a pile of bodies. There's like 4 or 5 dead people right in front of you. I want a sanity check from you right now. They are dead. They are stinking.
I just re-rolled that. Yeah, that's cocked.
How did we not smell
42.
that?
Okay, I clear on that one.
What?
I win on that one.
Okay, you lose no chance. You say dead people. Crazy?
Oh,
Oh no!
Away we go.
I failed again.
Imagine that.
Shocking.
I'd like you to roll a quick one, D3 sanity loss here.
That's better.
Just one.
Just one.
But somehow the bodies got you less than being
Everyone's seen dead people. Come on, it's
Right.
blessed.
Before we get to your 2 reactions, because you're behind
yes.
them. So I'm
Yes,
not,
there's quite a bit of commotion.
there are, so
Who's
you're at
chatting?
a junction of one of the passages. There are 4 bodies lying on the ground. There are 4 men. They are obviously dead, and it is obvious that they have been dead for several days. The only reason you didn't smell them getting closer is because, of course, there's a lot of dust and other smells in a mine. This is, you've got all that smell of dust in you. So you don't really, and it's only been you think several days, not several weeks.
And it's
that
not
they've
like
been
they've
dead.
been out. They haven't been out in the sun either.
Their skin is gray. Their clothing is filthy. That's about the information I'm going to get unless you want to check closer. And you tell me what you tell the rest of the group.
Yes.
Believe I have something in your wheelhouse here.
Oh, all right. I'm coming right. Oh
Much
my
fun.
goodness.
There are.
We're gonna end up dead just like all of these people if we stay
I
down
assume
here.
I need a
There's
sanity
Yeah, we're
check.
all-
to see those.
Oh, I
You
guarantee
are
you
a
keep this up.
doctor. You tell
One of us is
me.
gonna end
You're a
up
doctor.
dead.
Have you seen dead bodies and badly wounded people before in the line of your profession?
Oh, certainly.
I'm not going to make you make a sanity
All
check.
right.
I've shot people. I'm
not going to make you. You have already lost whatever sanity there is associated with seeing the dead people that you killed.
That's true, and others before that. Yes.
But for you guys, neither of you guys have ever killed anyone, right?
Nope.
So,
Him not on purpose.
yes.
Not that I know about.
So, Dr.
No,
Lee,
if I
there are
accidentally
four
engineered
dead.
somebody else.
There are four
What?
dead bodies. Their skin is gray. Which happens.
I
to
just
be-
immediately I pull out my surgical kit and I move up to the bodies and sort of methodically, one by one, I start going through and I cut them a little bit to see if they bleed, to see how long perhaps they've been down here and dead, and just generally trying to get a feel for
Okay,
maybe what
okay.
killed them.
I'll follow
Alright.
behind with the lantern, maybe.
There
See if I can
is.
identify
It looks like most of them have suffered gunshot wounds. And there is, as you kind of go through this, there is some sort of dark pus or ooze that's crusted in their wounds, and it's also there's some crusted black. It's like maybe a black pus or
Almost
infection coming
maybe-
out of their mouth, their ears, and their eyes and their nose.
It almost looks like perhaps maybe they choked on bile. Does it look
Yes.
like bile maybe?
It does. So you're gonna cut and see.
Oh,
it's-
yeah, I'm gonna get in there, honey.
Says about
And
the dead
two of them wear boots and empty gun belts, and the other two are in stocking feet, without even boots on.
Somebody robbed the bodies?
That or they didn't have time to get the boots on.
So which one are you gonna start
Oh,
investigating?
definitely the one with the most black pus bile looking stuff around their face. I want to know what that is. That's intriguing.
Okay, so you kind of get down. What do you got? What tool do you have here?
Oh, I'm just gonna use a little metal spatula scraper to scrape some off, and maybe put it on a little slide. Not that I have a microscope with me, mind you, but perhaps maybe look at it on a flat surface.
How are
rather
you
than-
feeling crazy about this?
Like I mentioned before, I was talking to other Chuck, and I'm certain we're all gonna die in this place. I'd like to know, are they facing the entrance to the mine or further into the mine?
They are all directions.
I'd like to make a check to see if they died here or if they got moved.
Okay, I'd like that check, and then we're going to deal with your investigation.
Okay, no problem.
Natural world or?
Yes.
Okay. I missed by a point.
Oh,
I'll spend a luck point. Just hit it right on.
it is clear this is not where the fight happened. People
All right.
don't fall on top of each other or in this sort of way in a gunfight.
Oh, someone stacked them.
They're
Lovely.
piled up on top of
All right, so doctor, you're kind of going down. Kind of describe what you're doing here. I want you to lean I want you yourself as a player, kind of lean over and give me a.
So being somewhat of a mix between a scientist and a doctor, I'm trying to get samples, and I'm cutting maybe some of the mouth open so I can open the jaw a little bit to see if maybe they choked on what they were.
Okay, and they got
spitting
a
out.
cold. I mean, these have been dead long enough for the temperature to drop to whatever the surrounding
Oh, and now
temperature
they're cold.
is.
They're cold. That's good. That's good
Right.
to know. Good to know.
So I'd like you to make kind of a first aid,
Okay.
and we're going to treat that as kind of your medical investigation here.
Okay. I also have science biology, and ooh, that is a.
That's not the best.
You know what? I'm gonna push it.
Okay.
Can I push
Okay.
it, please?
So re-roll here.
We're gonna put you over there. We're gonna use the pretty one. 67.
It's not a 91.
It's not a 91.
Is that a success?
For first aid is 60. My medicine is 70. So first aid, I think that is a
Which were
failure.
you using? Were you using first aid or medicine? You can tell me.
I would I would like to use medicine.
Then you were using your medicine. I'm totally fine with it. They are dead. It is very clear just immediately in. They clearly died of their gunshot wounds. I mean, these guys, the person you're looking at was shot several times.
All right.
In cold, but the pus and such, a little intriguing because whatever pus or ooze it is, how can you get an infection after you're already dead? And you're looking at more carefully, and the body moves. Like the body moves, and it starts moving its hand up towards you. It moves your hands up. I want a sanity check here.
All right.
I might shoot it because I'm there with the lantern.
That is a 17 on sanity out of 70. So I think I'm okay.
I want everybody now to make a sanity check. So do you scream? Do you shriek at least?
I shriek and I go, oh! And I slap the hand down.
Beat it on sanity. I rolled a 75 on a 75.
That exactly succeeded.
I probably do shoot it though with that response.
Meat beats.
Those of you all who succeed lose 1 sanity point and shriek or have a reaction. Who all failed? Hands up who failed. Would you roll a D8, crazy Chuck?
Okay.
And then, can I borrow that?
So I'm losing a whole 6 points.
Oh my God! We've already got temporary insanity at this point.
All right. The insanity rolls right here for
because
you.
It isn't just the one that she was inspecting that's moving. All four of the dead bodies are getting themselves up and trying to stand.
Oh my word.
All right,
like
crazy. How about you, Dirty? How much do you lose?
7.
Oh, you lost. So what is your starting sanity?
55. So I'm at 47 of 55.
That's
40,
it's not a fifth.
No, you're not a fifth yet. So,
it's not a fifth.
But I first want to. We're going to deal with the reaction here.
Okay.
And very quickly, let me just jump to this. I should. Hey, if there is an insanity going on, it ain't Call of Cthulhu, right?
Absolutely.
Where's
That is
the
like
insanity
the homework
table?
of this game.
Crazy. You're definitely going to start earning your name here because you've actually had a bout of madness. Mm-hmm. You are losing at this point. There are dead people trying to stand up, Crazy. Mm-hmm. You are having a bout of madness, also known as the red mist, frenzy, freak out, and a panic attack. You are totally out of self-control. You are totally freaking out. And you tell me how that's going to be. The dead are walking. Are you a religious man? Are you a religious man, Crazy?
Dirty, get down! And I would like to unload both my shells into the pile of dead people moving, with full knowledge of what the state of this mine is, because there's freaking dead people chasing us now.
Okay, I want to know that this is so he's lost it. He's just firing his gun wildly. What are you doing? You're also firing?
Well, when the ones reached out a hand, I was just gonna stuff my pistol in his mouth and shoot it.
Okay. How about you, Dr. Lee? Are you getting out of here, moving away?
Oh, I'm stepping back as quick as I can, getting out of the way.
How about you, Dirty?
I'm pulling you back if you don't step back. I don't want you near that thing.
I think I'd rather be out of here or get everybody out of here rather than.
I think I'm probably
put these guys back
next
down.
to you.
So I think I'm just gonna get him with the shoulder. Let's start. Looks like we found the brothers. Time to go.
All right. So those of you all who shoot, I'm not even going to make you roll because you're at point blank range and whatnot here. Mm-hmm. I actually humor me and roll because it could be funny if you guys if you
miss with a shotgun.
Me, I'm right there.
Yeah, I miss.
You're so panicked here. You fire into the wall. You hear creaking going on, all that. You fire into one of the dead people. Roll for damage.
Oh, nice.
10.
Okay, 10 points of damage. How much would that do to you guys? Would anybody be killed?
I would be outright dead if she did that to me.
I'd be just barely hanging on.
Okay, you shoot it. It's a good shot in the head.
Yeah, I know. I basically jammed the gun in through the mouth and pulled the trigger. That was
I buy that. It blows out the back. It keeps trying to get up.
swearing even more and now backing away.
All of them are getting up.
We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here. Guys, this place is gonna crash, and we're all gonna die.
I'm gonna throw the lantern at one of them.
Okay. So throw a lantern. I'm not gonna make you have to roll. This is too cool. You throw it. Would you roll a D6 because oil splatters all over one of them?
It's gonna be a 4.
4 points. It's burning. It's on fire, and it's up and moving towards you on fire.
Okay.
Now I want to know what you guys want to do.
May I make an occult check to see if I know anything about putting down zombies?
You can certainly, people who want to make an occult check, this is an appropriate time.
Certainly.
No.
I got 28 on my occult check out of 50.
Okay. Now, you're a little bit of an aspiring occultist. There is, of course, in some of the... What kind of an occultist are you? Like somebody who practices a little Kabbalah, tarot cards?
No, nothing like that.
Satanism.
I just like reading books. This reminds me of one of my favorites that I've read so far by Miss Mary Shelley.
Where the
dead comes back to life.
This is something has animated a dead corpse. And because you're actually kind of grounded in the story of Frankenstein and others, of course there is going to be some sort of a scientific explanation for this.
Absolutely.
How interesting is this to you?
This is 100% the most interesting thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life.
So you're fascinated by this. The rest of you all, I want to know. We're going to do kind of. I'd like a check on your overall dexterity initiative, and then you guys are going to tell me what you're going to do because the dead are walking.
Rolled an 8 under a 70.
Okay.
Ooh. I am just too fascinated. I got a 93 out of my 80 dex. I am just bewildered.
61 on an 85.
70 something on a 55.
You're all faster
All right.
than one thing you can notice, they've gotten up and they're moving, but they're quite slow moving. You're just fascinated by this.
Well, I think to mimic the 93.
No.
Just because I got a 93, not a fumble, but close. I'm trying to get a bit of samples before I start to run away. Now that maybe some chunks that got blown off, I try and collect them.
The heck is wrong with you, Doc? Get back from that thing.
Like, each get her under one arm.
Yeah.
And what are you guys going to do?
I'm going to wait until they have grabbed Annabelle, and the moment I assume there's some fired from the.
Oh, don't you dare!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't you dare!
I'm a little unhinged at this moment.
You're
I gotta
totally
get rid of
crazed.
this, so I'm gonna grab one of those sticks and toss it towards the fire and say, "Run!" Now, all you best run. These things are dangerous.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. You've thrown a stick of live dynamite into a fire.
Yep. Hi, everybody.
Awesome. I'm going to let you tell me what you guys are going to do at this
We're
point.
running, I think.
Yeah, I think it's time to scoot.
I
Let's
I will try to project that I'm gonna do that as much as possible, so you guys have a
Alright.
second.
Slow
Yeah.
motion, like as they're pulling me away, the dynamite falls in.
You throw the stick onto the burning corpse that's walking, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a totally rational thing to do under the circumstances.
I think it's completely rational for somebody
And
with a
what-
15 sanity.
What do you
as
think
mad-
dynamite does when you throw it into an open fire?
It goes real fast.
It goes real fast. It explodes.
I don't think I even tried to run. I think I hit the ground. and
Well, we're
just-
gonna deal. There's gonna be damage for everybody.
yeah.
This might be a short scenario here,
that
guys.
might be the end.
I'm sorry, guys.
All right,
We are
for you,
underground.
Crazy, it's gonna be the toughest because you aren't far at all away. I think it's gonna do 3d6 damage to you. Because it's a stick of that. Let me just really quick, hold on, before you roll, let me just double check. I recollect the dynamite does 66 damage when it's thrown at somebody. I could be recollecting incorrectly. So don't roll yet.
Let me see if it's in the. That's not what I wanted.
I mean, I think it's perfectly fair if this is what.
Well, it could be more.
ends me.
So
I think it is perfectly fair.
deadly does 2d10. That's all I have in my. Oh, dynamite 1d10. It says
A stick of dynamite only does 1d10?
being 6 to 9 yards from an exploding grenade or stick of dynamite does 1d10, but being 3 to 6 yards does 2d10.
So you're within. How close are you to this?
I mean, I assume that well, I think that also it should be taken into account that we're in
Exactly.
a funnel. So it's kind of like, it's going to be funneled towards us.
So
I would assume that I was a ways away, but like.
Are you
also,
within? Are you 1d10 damage or 2d10
Depends
damage?
on how far you can chuck.
I think I'm 2d10 damage.
I think you are too. Would
Yeah.
you roll 2d10, good
I
sir?
will do that.
Yeah.
That's 9. I have 1.
Survive!
You survive. It throws you. You're thrown by the concussion here. Thrown into the thrown further into the mine. You three.
Is that a major wound as well?
Oh yes.
I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Is there any chance that knocked some sense into him?
Oh, he's unconscious. Yeah, which is the
So
most
that's a
sense
yes,
I
I
can
guess,
imagine
yeah.
under the circumstance. He's knocked unconscious. The rest of you, it's 1d10 damage.
I'm unconscious also.
Oh, I won!
Yes,
Oh dear.
I took 1 damage.
Nice. All right, I'm down to 2/3.
I have 1 hit point left.
All right.
You're also unconscious. The corpses are scattered. They are. You threw a stick of dynamite onto dead bodies onto them. What do you think happened to them?
Oh, I think these
There's
are
pieces of them all over the
chunky.
place.
If these have been rotting for a while, they're probably a little bloated.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's nothing of these corpses left other than bits and pieces. You're unconscious. The doctor is unconscious.
I assume there's bits all over us.
Oh yes, of course. And the mine itself, you can start hearing. The mine isn't collapsed from this, but you can
It's
start
gonna, though.
hearing that creaking you heard before. There's lots of it, and it's not just ahead of you. It's ahead, behind, to the sides, and this made a hell of a racket. So those of you who are unconscious, you're partially deaf at this point. Only 2 of you can do anything. What are you going to do?
Looks like the claim's played out. I'll take one, you take the other. Let's get
Sounds
out
good
of
to
here.
me. Yeah, I think we're just hoisting and running. I don't know if we're gonna make it, but it's worth a shot.
Yep. Just dragging, not really taking the best care of Mr. Dilbert here. Just got him by the collar, and I'm trying to go as fast as I
Because
can.
he's only got 1 hit point, right?
Yeah, well.
And you've only got
whose
1
fault
hit
is
point.
that?
You're
That's
in
true.
bad shape.
I'm gonna
a
ditch the
tiny frail-
pickaxe.
I'm a
I'm
small
ditching the
frail woman.
rope.
You are small. I can probably carry. Terrified.
All right, those of you who are doing this, I want you to make a quick dex check yourself. Because there are rocks beginning to...
Oh my lord.
0, 1.
Oh my lord,
Oh,
thank
nice.
you so much, Maker.
I'm going to go ahead and
I'm a
push,
hero.
let's see, what do I need? 15. I'm going to spend 11 points to get this down below my threshold of luck.
Okay, so you basically, through luck, pure luck and grit, you make it out of the mine.
Nice.
And there's dust that follows you all. You're covered in dust. The doctor, she is bleeding all
I have
over
first
the place. You're bleeding all over the place. You're burnt and bleeding because, of course, you got hit by the main brunt of this. There's blood and body bits over all of you.
I'm gonna try to first aid the doc.
Okay. It's also night outside.
Brilliant. Great. That's everything. Okay. I will spend 20 points of luck. We need the doc
Oh,
alive.
darling.
We need the doc alive. Let's be real. D3. 1. But
That's enough to
I'm
get you
awake.
conscious.
yeah,
I'm
it's
awake.
conscious.
How about you?
I'll give it a shot on him. Things aren't looking great for you, pal, but
This could be the determining moment.
73. I don't even have the luck to push that or like to get that down.
You don't
I think
suffer
that's okay.
more damage, but he kind of you roll a bandage on him. And like, hey,
Wait, are we totally out of the mouth?
you're out
We're
of
out
mine.
mine, yeah.
Has it collapsed yet?
No.
I'm going to take the other sticks of dynamite out of his bundle, wrap all the wicks together, light, and chuck it as deep in there as I can.
What are you doing? We just survived one explosion. What could possibly make you think that?
Oh, okay.
We are sealing this up. It
You
is,
throw the dynamite in, and
but like ideally,
We're
around the
far
corner,
away,
so
right?
we can tuck
I'm pulling
out
you
of the
away as soon as I see that.
projected blast.
all right.
That's a lot of dynamite.
That is
A lot of dynamite. That's 5 sticks of dynamite. You
Four.
four sticks.
One got used in there.
You throw it in. It's already a crickety. How strong are you?
Strength is 70.
Oh my gosh.
So you're a strong man. You're able to hurl this a lot. So, but you're hurling it. You're not like
We're not
running
aiming. We're going for distance.
it. Okay. Humor me and roll against your strength.
Come on, honey.
We're gonna go ahead and spend 26 points.
Push it.
20s. You rolled a 96.
I rolled a 96 on a 70. Luckily, I'll still have a little bit of luck left
What's the
over.
6 cocks, though?
You can't.
I'm just-
Let's not make it worse.
It's okay. I'm gonna let him do this.
Okay, I was gonna say, can you spend luck when you fumble?
It's not a fumble.
It's not.
But,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just gonna burn the luck
96.
to get that.
I'm sure actually if we were playing strictly by the rules, this would be a fumble, but you were rolling for my entertainment, and I am more amused by the fact that I have probably just gotten you to blow all your luck with this one move.
Yep.
So you get lucky and manage to, it kind of bounces down the mine, and it is a very satisfying kaboom. Kaboom, explosion. You're at the front of the mine there. Would you make a roll against a dex or a dodge, whichever you think is probably better for you?
Just beat it. Beat it by a point.
So you suffer no damage from everything that's coming out of the mine. This huge gust of fire and debris and whatnot. So you suffer no damage, and you can hear there is dust and rubble and everything. It is a full-fledged collapse of the tunnel.
Yeah. I am never going underground ever again.
How about the rest of you all? You're still unconscious?
I'm out.
I'm picking myself up and it hurts.
Oh, you are.
a whole
It
lot.
is. You
Hey,
have
don't move.
broken bones. You know that you have broken bones. You have a perforated wound. There's a point where one of the bones is, because you're at what, 2 hit points?
I'm at 2 out of 9.
You are in bad shape.
Yep.
Walk me through it, Doc. What do I need to do?
All right, I'm gonna point at my surgical kit, my bag,
Okay.
and I'm.
Do you have laudanum?
Yeah.
Are you
What
gonna
surgical
take? Are you
kit
gonna
is
take
complete
laudanum?
without laudanum?
Yes. Yes, I
Now,
am
ladies
a
and
Are
rich.
you
gentlemen,
gonna take it and then operate on me?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a touch.
In my bag, there's some laudanum. I'm gonna need that before you get started. But first,
Yes, she's gonna be drinking the laudanum before she starts.
I'm gonna try and instruct May Grimes on how to use my surgical tools and get me bandaged up a little bit better.
Oh, and it hurts.
It hurts a whole
so
lot.
much. How much laudanum you gonna drink?
How much do I got?
You gotta. You have made such a big deal about your
That's a great
surgical
question.
kit. You've got a full bottle
Easy there. Just
of laudanum.
let's,
All right. There's
Now,
also-
ladies and gentlemen and kids out in the studio audience, we all know what laudanum is, right? Okay.
Listen,
Yeah.
for the folks at home,
For the folks at home, it is a tincture of opiate. It is a, and now is a quick question here. We haven't raised this. Do you often drink your own laudanum?
no.
Anybody else have a
I like
fondness?
having a sharp and astute mind. But not right now. Right now, I need to be out like a baby.
All right, so she's guzzling the laudanum.
What about him? What do I do on him?
And she hands it over to Dirty Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just grabbing a nip. It's just been a real long one.
All right.
So
I'm more of a bourbon guy.
everybody's now a little bit high.
I am not. I want
Okay,
to
you're
say,
not.
I only took 1 point of damage. I do want my mind sharp. What do I do about the crazy one who's out cold and also bleeding?
I'm gonna let the doctor make the first aid roll, and you're helping her.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does help mean I roll like a bonus die, or is
Yeah,
it?
I'm gonna throw a bonus die
Okay.
on for you.
Let's do that. Oh,
Well, that's a good bonus die right there.
I would rather have that 0-0 than that 9-0.
97.
Yeah.
That is wow. That is
That's opposite ends.
yeah.
Aren't you glad I said that?
So that is, I believe,
Yes.
extreme for me. Is that extreme? That is extreme.
That is extreme.
That is 2d3 hit points that you can heal.
Okay, I'll do that. All right. So
1
3
3
and
4.
Yeah, 4.
4 in total. That's enough.
Yeah,
to
she
get
gets
That's
you
good.
conscious. She gets you some laudanum in you.
Good, because I'm about to put you back under.
About to threaten the same thing myself.
You are. Would you roll? Humor me, and roll a d10.
Okay.
Just humor me. And by the way, I think as a GM, that's probably the worst thing.
That's
I
the
can tell
worst.
you.
Yeah,
I
that's the most
know.
terrifying phrase.
2.
The only thing worse than when a GM starts randomly rolling dice is when he asks you to start randomly,
Randomly rolling dice.
Yeah.
You
So who operated
imagine that you suffer a very you now have clinical claustrophobia
Okay.
and fear that the dead are awakening. I
Okay.
mean you know.
To clarify, I feel like dead are awakening in small spaces, or I have claustrophobia and the dead.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2.
You've got both. You are both massively claustrophobic for
Okay.
understandable reasons.
Yeah.
And the dead, you know that within the bowels of the earth, where the dead are buried, the dead
coming back.
are awakening.
Okay.
They are awakening. You
Okay.
saw it.
Yeah. All right. And I
Down
believe
2
that.
eyes.
And it's not just confined to these 4.
Yeah. Okay.
All right? So just kind of, you've got a nice little...
Annabelle, you saw that too, didn't you?
I did. I certainly did.
They're coming alive. They're coming alive everywhere.
I know. Isn't it fascinating?
Hey, look who's awake there. If I weren't worried that you already had enough damage to your head, I think I'd put you back under.
I saved us. I stopped them.
My ribs would probably disagree.
You're alive, aren't you?
Barely, it feels like.
It is a stroke of luck that any of us got out of that, let alone all of us. What were you thinking?
The dead came alive.
And we might have joined them.
But, I mean, at least we would have taken care of them. What's going to happen to the rest of the town? What's going to happen?
Well, nothing
all
now.
The rest of the dead are going to come alive.
Dirty Chuck sealed up that hole, so I don't imagine much risk is coming out of there anytime soon.
But what about the graveyard?
What about it?
You don't think it's just here, do you?
I've never seen the dead get up and walk around anywhere else.
Son, don't borrow trouble. Let's call it a night.
It is a night here.
Yeah, we're not
The
going
mine
anywhere.
has had a collapse. But
Neither
you're right
of
outside of the mine.
Neither of these two are walking. We don't have much choice but to set up camp here and keep a watch of some kind.
Yeah.
The first question I have now, we got about how much time left on today's session here?
An hour?
An hour.
An hour.
Okay, so we got time. I'd like to keep moving this forward.
Yeah,
then here.
certainly.
So, the mine is collapsed. There are tents here where there's been gunfights and all of that, and you saw dead corpses walking in the mine, but you can't really. You're absolutely right. Dr. Lee and Crazy Chuck are in no shape. They're barely in shape to head down during daylight. At night, it'd probably be a good chance Dr. Lee would die if you tried to get her down to the night. So what are you going to do?
Unfortunately, I think you're right. Let's put a fire together. Rather, we didn't really split up, but...
Oh, no. We're having someone keep watches.
Yeah,
that's
I'll
gonna...
take first shift.
I'll take a second.
I can't sleep
Get you up
after
for
what I
second.
saw. I can't sleep.
You're the one
once
we're
we dose you
watching,
up with
so-
laudanum, pal.
Yeah, you're getting laudanum. You don't have a choice.
So do you
Yes,
dose him with enough laudanum that he
Oh,
sleeps
yeah.
despite the fact that he can't sleep?
He needs it, or he's not
I
going to be able to walk out of here later.
You pour it in my mouth and then force me.
Yeah,
to,
just
swallow
close your
it.
mouth and plug your nose until you drink it.
I mean, that's what laudanum's for, is to help sleep,
It is.
among other things.
How about you, Dr. Lee? Are you going to stand watch, or are you going to try to sleep, have a drug-induced sleep?
Not a chance
I'm
you're
gonna-
taking a walk.
I'm
Yeah.
going to try and sleep it off. I know when I'm at my limit.
Okay, and you two are, it's very easy, probably easier for you guys to stay up all night than it is to sleep. The only way you're going to fall asleep after this is with laudanum.
Yeah, no, I'm rather have a couple pairs of eyes up and looking around.
Well,
So,
all right, then.
Also, you see me starting to nod off, give me a kick.
I'll start brewing us some
Return the
coffee.
favor.
I want all of you. You two are sitting there watching. Where are you watching? This is a box canyon, right? It's got the end of the canyon is the mine entrance, and then it's got the other edge of the canyon is the gorge that heads down the Sullivan Gap.
I think one each.
One each. Yeah, but I will brew us up some coffee.
Who's watching the mine?
I'll handle it. I'm better with guns if something comes
Fair.
crawling out of there.
Okay, and you're
Yep.
watching out of the
I'll
gap.
watch out the canyon.
Okay. You two are sleeping. That doesn't mean that nothing's happening to you guys.
Welcome to the most dangerous thing in Call of Cthulhu. Dreams!
Dreams. You two, you guys took a lot of laudanum, didn't you, to be able to sleep?
I assume that I was forced a lot.
We dosed you up until you
I'm-
went
Did
out.
you drink
freaking
enough to
crazy at
basically
I
put you out?
took a medical dose since I'm not, going crazy right now. I feel like enough to numb the pain enough to be able to fall asleep, but nothing too wild.
Right. How do you, before I get into, let's play around a little bit with your character's subconscious at this point, I want each of us to kind of go around and what's going on from your characters. What does your character think is going on? You've just seen dead people walk.
So May has a bit of a history with what she reckons is the supernatural, but nothing like that. She lost her family to mysterious circumstances on 2 occasions, both of which involved very bad nightmares. She's never seen dead get up and walk around, but she knows there's something out there that ain't strictly what you'd call normal. And she's a little lost in thought, thinking about what it could mean that those things are coming closer to the surface. Maybe getting bodies up and walking around to do their dirty work.
Do you feel safe right now?
Oh, hell no.
We're going to skip you two
Can I describe what's happening with me?
in a moment.
Okay.
I'd like to go for dirty first.
Honestly, I think I am just so happy to be back outside in my element where I'm comfortable. I'm like, kind of can't help but like kind of pace and like get a feel for the area. I'd like to see if anybody's been through this campsite since we went back down.
Okay.
Generally, I knew this was sort of out of my ambit when I joined up, and man, I'm gonna trust my gut next time around.
Would
Seems
you
like
roll a D4
may I borrow a D4?
for my amusement?
This is quickly becoming the scariest thing that you can say.
That's a 1.
You get a point of sanity back.
All right.
Your reaction is really sane. That's mentally healthy. You're out of this. There was weird stuff going on. You're not really fixating. You're clearly not heavily fixating on the weird stuff going on. You're just happy to be out of the damn mine. And I think you can actually feel a little safer now, don't you?
You got, I mean, versus with the zombies and the fire and the explosion. Yeah, it's generally better now.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a point of sanity back.
Thank you.
Now I want to
Nutcases
deal
making me
with our
nervous.
nutcases.
I'd
I'd like to end with you because you're so.
Okay.
First of all, because
I'm
you're so
very excited
enthusiastic.
about what's
You
probably
are
going to happen to me.
excited.
Vibrating over there, just like,
I'm
gonna lose it.
How is Dr. Lee coping with all of this? You're drugged up.
I'm drugged up. I've been in some painful situations before. Nothing quite so extreme and so sudden, but I've been bucked off a horse or two in my time. But I think she's just kind of trying to focus on what she saw and get down definitive facts. She took some samples for herself, and so even if later people don't believe her, she'll know.
Okay.
And she'll be able to investigate this later. So I think it's just more of a resigned curiosity. I'm alive, and that means that I'm going to have time to figure this out.
I'm not even gonna have you humor me and make a sanity check here.
Absolutely. That's a 49 out of 69. Nice.
You sleep a dreamless sleep.
lucky.
Thanks a lot.
A
No
nice
problem.
dreamless sleep, and when you awaken, you will be able to get back 1d3 hit points of damage. It's actually like Dirty Chuck. You're approaching this in a pretty much mentally healthy way in preserving your ego and sense of self and whatnot. This is clearly a scientific curiosity. Now let's move on to Crazy Dan. Dan, how you feel? Or Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck, how you feeling?
So this is how I think that his dream is going.
Okay.
I think that he finds himself back in the mine.
Oh, of course.
And as he starts looking around his space, he can feel his chest start to compress and his breath start to come shorter to where he can't breathe. And as he looks
there's
behind
darkness.
him,
There's darkness everywhere, and the darkness is tangible, Chuck. It's tangible darkness. It's liquid darkness.
the sweat is just cold on his skin as he looks around, and he sees little movement in the shadows behind him.
You see more than just little movements. The shadows, the darkness is alive. It thinks.
Oh.
It's It's there. It's inside the mind. The darkness in the mind, Chuck, in the mind, not the mind. The darkness in the mind is in your mind. That darkness, it's alive. It's a thing.
I feel this darkness, and I can see the shadows grow like tendrils around.
It is. Me. And it's like a liquid, like an ooze, like a pus. What did you see on those dead things, Chuck?
As I remember the gaze of these dead creatures before I threw the dynamite, I saw their eyes come to me just entirely white and vacant.
With ooze coming down out of their eyes, Chuck.
And Crazy Chuck, Crazy Chuck doesn't know what to do but run from this darkness. But as he's running in this cave, everything seems to stretch, and the darkness continues to catch up on him as if he's not moving at all.
Because you realize you are surrounded by infinite darkness, the abyss. It's endless, and it's coming in and it's crushing you, Chuck. You don't have a relaxing sleep.
No, I assume the whole time he's moving around and grunting and moaning, and you can hear just like whimpers come out of this drug-induced sleep.
He's shouting actually something. It's not just whimpers. Crazy Chuck, at a certain point, while you're standing watch, starts shouting. The darkness, it's formless. It's everywhere. It's coming to get us. It's the darkness. And he's just shouting that while drugged up and unconscious. All right. Well, let's deal with your guys' watch.
Good.
Hey, is everybody having fun so far?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Trev. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. That was great.
So you're watching the mine. Okay, you're watching the gorge, right?
Yes.
And
there's yelling from Crazy Chuck behind you, and he's shrieking about the darkness, the thing in the darkness. It's everywhere. Its tendrils are coming out for us. It's there. And that's what he's
Yeah. Getting a little sick of this dude.
Can you shut him up somehow without killing him?
We'll leave him be. But,
Are you feeling a little edgy?
Yeah. I'm a little tired. I'm a little done with this.
Drink your coffee.
May?
All right, thank you.
You, on the other hand, are watching the mine. What does it look like inside the entrance of the mine? What do you see in there? What's in there?
Depends on whether or not my mind's wandering.
You tell me. Does your mind? And are you just watching the entrance of the mine, or are you trying to shine a light into the mine?
I reckon that maybe we set up a lantern that's just a little bit inside, give some forewarning. Other than that, we're
So it's shining some light in there where the cave-in has happened, and there's dark. I'd like you to make a spot hidden.
Oh, good. I'm okay at that. Well, no, I could push it, but.
What's your spot hidden?
It's 40, so I don't have a great chance of a reroll.
So you fail.
Yes.
You see darkness inside the mine. Shadows. The shadows move. The shadows flit around because this is a lantern. This isn't a flashlight. This is an old school lantern. And Chuck, I need you to provide me with some background sound here. What are we talking about?
The darkness. It lives in the shadows. The shadows. They're alive. Look to the shadows. Fear the light because it creates more shadows.
The shadows are flitting around and they move inside the entrance. I want you to make a sanity check. You got a crazy person.
37 under 74.
All right.
Probably only lose like 1 sanity.
You don't lose any sanity.
Okay.
You tell me, what are you doing here?
I think I do get on edge enough that at a certain point I get up and I like go closer to the mine, just like to like get a closer look in, make sure that it's my mind playing tricks on me. It's the fire playing tricks on me. What we saw were dead people, not shadows.
I would like you to make a spot hidden roll.
Succeeds.
So you're going into the mine a little bit.
Yeah.
With the lantern and there's this, you're looking at the cave-in with the shadows and whatnot, and some of these the shadows look liquid. They are moving. Some of the shadows in the rock are moving. There's a black liquid on the rocks. There is, and it's moving. What do you do? Sanity check.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, I failed.
Would you roll?
Finally.
Would you roll a d6?
Oh,
Nice.
6.
6 points of it. The shadows are moving and they're alive and they're liquid.
I will stumble back away from them unless my insanity drops.
You're not temporarily insane.
Okay.
Tell me what you do.
I will.
You have 2 unconscious people. You've got another guard, and there's moving shadows.
I'm gonna back out and say we're moving camp farther away. we're gonna move down that way.
Yeah, but I don't know if we can move them. Well,
Just
whatever.
pick one up and help me move them.
All right.
By the way, your dreams are way more vivid at this point. The darkness is around you, and its tendrils are trying to reach at you. It's trying to get into your mouth, into your nose, into your ears, into your eyes. Liquid tendrils of darkness.
Any darkness outside the cave doing this, or is it just inside the mine?
Make a spot hidden.
Oh no.
The darkness.
I will spend 10 points of luck to succeed that. This seems important.
It's there's shadows everywhere. They don't seem to be moving yet, but there's shadows everywhere. It's dark. I mean, and keep in mind, this is the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, probably spring. There is no city lights, no nothing. How dark do you think it gets here?
Having been out in some of that like serious darkness, if we have the stars and the moon.
I want to have some fun here, crazy Chuck.
Yeah.
Is it overcast?
Can I play something in my sleep? I whisper, and I assume that my head is kind of close to your ear at this point. The shadows, they come from the mine. You know, they're tendrils, invisible tendrils of shadow. When the stars disappear, they're coming for you. Look to the stars, because the true shadow is coming.
That works for me. Is it overcast?
Looking like we might get a little rain here.
Okay. So
all right, we're getting out of the
out.
canyon anyway. It's a box canyon. I don't want a flash flood.
All right. What are you guys gonna do?
I think that we are. I think we're just picking them up and walking them out of this canyon best we can.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab. I know we ditched some of the lanterns. Gonna get any of the others out of that mining equipment, so we still got some light to move. I'd like to get us up on higher ground. I'd like
are there
to
any
get a fire
carts
built.
anywhere?
There's a cart.
Put them in the cart.
Hey,
There's also more dynamite, by the way.
yeah, we've had our fun today.
I don't know if I would. Hang on. I'm going to make an intelligence check to see if I remember the silver. I do remember the silver's there. I don't know if I care enough to go for it right now, though. Let's come back for it tomorrow.
It's not going anywhere.
So yeah, you're leaving the silver there,
Yeah.
and you're putting your 2 friends in the cart.
In the
In the
cart.
cart. I think maybe we can string up some lanterns to the cart for some extra light.
Sounds like a plan.
Can I make a con check to see if all this shuffling?
If you want to be
Wakes
awakened
me
at this point, it's up to
wakes
you.
me up.
I'm not even going to make you roll. You can just decide that you want to wake up for this.
I'm gonna be real groggy because that laudanum still is working its way through my system.
How about you, Crazy Chuck? Are you waking up, or are you enjoying the fact that you are ranting the plot of the scenario as we speak, clearly?
I think I'd like to wake up, but I don't know if that's realistic with how much.
It's whatever you want it to be.
It might not stop him ranting.
I think I'm gonna be like on the edge of like unconsciousness coming in and out.
Okay, that's it. So you're quasi-conscious, semi-conscious. Dude, shadows everywhere. They're moving you in the night. And we're all familiar with the light that's cast by hurricane lanterns. Mm-hmm. How much shadows and weird lighting effects does that create?
Oh, absolutely. So,
and what's your current sanity?
I'm 15.
15. You actually should be institutionalized.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to put things in.
Yep.
All right. So.
Dirty. The shadows. You see them. They're taking the night. Get the dynamite.
Great, buddy.
Get the dynamite.
That's nice.
It's the only way. We have to get rid of it, or it's gonna come for everyone.
I'm gonna just.
Show me your bandana in his mouth.
Are you gonna shove your bandana in his mouth? Awesome.
Not deep. Just like let's just mumble this up a little bit.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to decide if that's worse or not.
You got a mumbling madman. And I'm going to give you an option here, Dr. Lee.
Right.
You are either in incredible pain. We've all broken limbs and whatnot, and we know how painful that is. And you're now trying to do a rugged backcountry hike in that condition. So you can tell me, pain or high as a kite?
Oh, I think I'm just gonna sit in the car and hold on. If we're moving, I assume it's because we ran into something a little dangerous, and I'm gonna let the laudanum wear off.
Okay.
But
so
I'm
pain.
not gonna be moving myself. I'm gonna be in that car, just trying to steady myself as much as possible. But I know that it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Okay. What I want you two, what's your two plan? You've got the doctor in the cart. You got crazy man.
How long are we to town?
What?
How long are we to town?
20 miles.
I don't care about getting to town. If we get out of this canyon, we find a place we feel safe again to camp out, that's fine.
High ground at a campfire. I'll go fetch some horses in the morning, take it from there.
Sounds all right.
So,
I think that we have one person behind pushing and one person rope tied to the cart pulling in front.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Now, this is objectively speaking kind of stupid. You're trying to haul a cart with a badly wounded person through the Rocky Mountains in the wilderness at night, overcast. On the other hand, it's probably better than where you were.
It's that option between being stupid and being dead, and
I would like you, Doctor, to make a Constitution check.
Oh, certainly. Oh, I'm going to spend 7 points of luck to hit my Constitution on the nose.
Okay, you suffer no additional damage,
51.
which at 2 hit points is probably
good.
worth doing.
Yeah.
So the doctor does not die on the way back. And just to give you a feel for how badly hurt she is right now, she's at 2 hit points. That's really not good.
Yeah,
How bad are you, Crazy?
I'm actually at 5. So
You're
Lex,
You're
that's-
beat up and bloodied and whatnot, but the fact that you were stark raving mad, I think, is the bigger problem.
Yeah.
The fact that you're stark raving mad is why I'm at 2 hit points.
What time did you guys decide to start moving? You tell me. It was night. What time?
Doc's watch. We probably made it 2 solid hours before things got too spooky.
Probably, yeah. So depending on the time of the year, it's probably 10 or midnight.
I'll say it's about 10 o'clock that you guys started to go down. And I'm going to say you're in a cart on a trail through the mountains, through the gorge. About how fast do you think you're moving an hour?
I'd
No
say
more
about a
than 2
half
miles
mile,
an hour.
if not a quarter mile.
Yeah.
I think,
Take it real easy.
okay, I think it's probably closer to the quarter mile than the half mile. That gets you guys about before sun, let's say sun rises at about 7 o'clock. So that gets you 9 hours. You get about 3 miles during the night. So not very far. But you keep moving during this, constantly moving away, and you keep those lights up. How long do you think how much lamp oil did you take from the mining camp?
Oh, probably what they had filled.
Okay.
And whatever we were able to dunk in the cart next to these guys.
So how long do you think those lamps would last?
I bet as soon as one flickers, I propose we only keep one running at a time so we can fill from one.
Okay. I want you two who are doing this to make one last sanity check.
Oh,
Did
no.
you fumble? 0-0?
Oop.
Yep, that's what that is. 0-0. 100, baby.
Awesome.
Oh, that's gonna be a fumble for me.
That's a
We
crit
both
fumble.
fumbled.
Two fumbles.
That's
Okay, give
Sorry,
me a moment.
frantically losing
Give
my mind
me
over
a
here.
moment.
Oh my god.
the shadows. They come from the trees. The shadows.
Sanity check, quick check,
Oh, look at
fumble.
you. Keeps talking
You
on
know,
that shit.
I'm having too much fun on this.
Remember what I said earlier? All of God's critters deserve peace.
Each of you lose the maximum sanity from what was going to be just kind of a disconcerting, nightmarish travel through the night. Yet each lose 5 points of sanity
Ooh,
doing this.
that's a hit.
How much sanity have you lost now in total?
In total, I have lost 12.
That's not quite 20%.
12 as well.
What's your starting sanity?
55.
That is 20%.
Exactly
here.
20. Yep.
Right. I want you to tell me what's really running through your mind now.
I'm thinking I am.
There's shadows.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm way the hell out in the middle of nowhere with people who got no business being here, and if they aren't trying their level best to get me killed, it's a bad day. It's been a real rough night. Seems like it's gonna keep being night for a real long time, and I'm getting real sick of these people.
You're sick of these people?
Except the doc. I'll see the doc in about 2 days. I got a colicky horse got to get dealt with, but otherwise.
I'd like you to humor me and roll a d10.
5.
They are out to get you.
Yeah.
Paranoid.
They are out to get you. You know, this darkness, and the crazy Chuck's making some sense here.
That's never a good sign.
You know, those were dead folk walking. There was something in the darkness that made the dead rise. Chuck, what you gonna do about this?
Hey, Miss Grimes, how about I head on ahead? Maybe I can get to town, get some help.
You leaving me to haul this cart by myself?
I don't know. You could just stay with the cart.
we'll just stay here in the middle of all this.
What's our surroundings like? We got any tree cover or anything nearby?
Oh yeah, well it's the Rocky. I mean, this is like the Rockies above Leadville.
Hey, go, put yourself a fire together.
Come on,
see,
Dirty.
like,
You really
come
want to
find
go
it.
out there alone?
I'm feeling pretty alone right now.
I'll stop. Like, I don't know which end of like pushing or pulling I'm on,
Yeah.
but I'll stop for a second. Listen,
All right. Look, man, I'm having a rough time. You're the worst thing that's happened to me in a minute. You got any better ideas?
I'm the worst thing that's happened to you. Listen,
Chain of events. Okay, the one with the muzzle in his mouth's a little worse off right now, but you're in a real stiff runner-up position.
oh, you think that I brought you up here knowing that we'd end up coming across some Walking Dead and darkness that's peeking out at us at all angles? You think I'm having any better of a time?
I think your plan was on shooting somebody, and you found something you couldn't quite handle with shooting, and now we're all stuck here.
My plan was to find people and bring them back if I could.
That's going great. I think we're just gonna bicker. I think
Okay,
just bicker.
we're not gonna have a
Yeah.
gunfight then.
I'm not drawing my gun.
For a moment
I'm
here,
not
for my-
insane. He would have to draw the gun. So.
I don't have a hat, but I would
All right.
throw my hat.
We're that treasure of Sierra Madre kind of bickering bit here. The sun, though, as you all stop here and bicker, the sun does rise. It rises and there's light. Crazy Chuck, you're conscious. Dr. Lee, you're conscious. You guys are rough, but you did get some hit points back from your remarkably restful laudanum-induced sleep.
Yes.
So you guys tell me, what's your plan here? It's now early morning. You're maybe 17 or 18 miles away from Leadville.
All right.
17's pretty good. Look, I think we both said some things we didn't mean. I'll stay with them. You just haul fast as you can, get some horses, get back here. Let's have this over with.
Now, see here. I appreciate that you got us all as far as you did and you took care of us. I will always be so grateful. Now that the sun is up, I think it's a little bit more safe. I would just feel so much better. You were walking all night long. I would feel so much better if you could get in at least maybe a couple hours of shut-eye before you set off on your own again. The sun is up. I'm awake. I'm feeling much, much better, thanks to you.
Don't close your eyes.
I don't see
shove
myself.
it a little bit deeper. Like, I think we both go to shove. Like,
Yeah, they both just were like.
have like a moment. It's like, oh.
Imagine that the character who started the game, known as Crazy Chuck, is crazy.
Foreseen. Who could have guessed?
Just don't see it being all that restful, Doc.
I can help with that.
Oh,
How quickly
Oh,
do
right.
I could make it back to town if I was.
Well, it's 18 miles. So you tell me how fast you go through a trail through the mountains.
that's a solid 12, moving at a good clip.
Yeah.
Hours.
And you've already been up all night. Now that the sun is up, I think it'll be much safer.
All right.
Listen, if I go now, I'm gonna end up traveling at night, and you're gonna end up spending another night out here with them. I won't be able.
This time around, we can prepare, set a real good fire, maybe patch these guys up a little better,
Yeah, all right.
get our heads about us.
Okay. So you're gonna head
The
back.
sky's clear.
You're gonna zip down, go as fast as you can to Leadville, and get in there in the evening.
No, I think I'm sticking with them.
Okay, you're gonna stick with them.
Oh, you want me to head off? Because I was volunteering to stay.
You think that one of us should head off? I'm still uncertain about that.
it's that, or we spend, God, a week trying to get these both over there in a cart?
You're right. All
Oh,
right.
I'll be
Do you
fine.
think
I don't need
Doc,
to
you think we can get you on your feet?
Yeah,
All right,
I
let's
feel.
give that a crack.
And I'll try and like walk around and you know everything still hurts, but I'm
You're a lot
good.
faster with her walking, even though
Yeah.
she's, she needs help and assist walking. You're a lot faster walking than trying to move a cart through this.
All right.
So let's say you guys can maybe move about, do we think a mile or two an hour sounds about reasonable?
All right. Buddy, you calm down at all?
The man.
Forget I asked. All right.
You tell me,
so-
Crazy Jeff.
I assume that like if you want to like me to walk with you, I'd probably follow, but you probably have to like tie a rope
Can
around me.
I
and kinda
check
just-
him out a little bit?
Yeah. See if you can.
All right.
Yeah, you check.
Chuck, come over here. Come over here, honey.
He he approaches you, and but like as you look at him, his eyes seem to dart around as if he knows there's something just out of
All
sight.
right. I'm gonna sit him down in front of me, and I'm gonna take the gag out of your mouth.
The shadows. I can't close my eyes.
Now
They're
look
so
at
dry.
me. Now I know you had some bad dreams last night, and you saw some things that your mind can't quite comprehend. But if you don't start focusing that energy on getting out of here, we're all gonna have much worse of a time, honey. And I'm gonna like do this, like follow my fingers.
You do have some sanity.
Yeah.
You're not
Okay.
you're not at zero.
Okay. So I feel like I can kind of understand this and keep
Yes,
up. And
maybe
You're
take
not
it
you're not in a good place.
Okay.
But you have control of your character.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you role play how you think your character should handle this.
In that case, I think. All right, Miss Annabelle. The shadows, though, they're coming for me.
All right, and I'm just gonna pour just a little bit of laudanum into some water, and try not to be seen. Just a little bit as a treat.
Just to calm me down a little,
And I'll be
mellow
like,
it out.
here, have some water. This will help calm. Just
The best solution.
drink
Get him
up.
high.
And his like jitters kind of
It relaxes. All right, I'm going to tell you here, Chuck, that basically I'm going to give you a game way to basically control your insanity. As long as you're regularly taking laudanum in large amounts,
Okay.
you are simply, under the influence of laudanum and not insane.
Okay. So with no side effects, right?
Yeah.
zero
side effects.
Zero side effects.
Well, you are going to be, the obvious
on what-
consequence of this is first off, you are definitely going to be you're going to be an opium addict. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a minor consequence. And maybe your long-term sanity won't be helped by this.
Okay.
But on the
But on
short
the
term,
a little bit of laudanum
and
to
a
mellow
little
me
bit of
out.
laudanum to control this lets you keep your
My head.
your head enough that you can cope with the world around you in a rational way.
Wonderful.
You know what they always say.
I hope isn't that great? And this is the joys of Call of Cthulhu, is this drug addiction is being presented as a potentially positive character.
Well, you know what they say. A spoonful of laudanum
Creative
helps
Director,
the
don't
madness
support-
go down.
And remember, kids, don't try this at home. Yes. So, but what that does let you do is you are able, as long as you've got that in. We get the classic. We got the classic stereotype of the jittery veteran from World War I, right? You're that character.
Okay.
So, what are you guys gonna do?
Let's get moving. I say stop 2 hours before sundown. Gives me find a place with good long viewpoints, get a good fire built up. Take it easy, not try to take any risks. Sleep in shifts, 2 up, 2 down. Well, 1 down all the time. But
Yeah.
buddy, you might be sleeping hogtied. But
Do you hog time me when I sleep?
not last night, but after that one,
Okay. I just want to know if I'm like hogtied.
No, you're walking around.
Maybe you're right. Maybe one of us should run ahead.
You tell me. I mean, you're under. He seems more under control.
Yeah, sun's up.
True. Sun goes down.
That's the big question. So let's just move ahead to the camp.
All right.
How well do we make our way? We have a tracker with us.
Yeah, let's get a track roll going. And
I do have some tracks, so I can assist.
If we get a successful track roll here, I'm going to let you move a mighty 4 miles an hour.
Whoa.
Oh, 3.
Oh my
0.3. You can get to Leadville by nightfall if you push it like this.
Let's do it.
So now we have a choice.
Since we're moving so fast, I'm going to volunteer to make a con check just to see how well I'm able to keep up.
I was going to ask you to do that. So.
All right. 27 out of 50.
You don't. I was going to have you make a con check to see if you suffer any additional damage because I said you had broken limbs but you don't.
That's amazing.
You're able to get to Leadville by nightfall, by the sundown.
How well is everyone watching?
I think once we start booking it, I know I'm not watching him. Once the city's in sight, I just like that is the North Star, honey.
Yeah. No, I'm going to assume you want to be in the light, away from the dark. So give you a little leeway here that I am sure not going to come to regret.
And what do you do, Crazy Chuck?
As I see that like sun starting to dip, I know what's approaching. I'd like to start combining some shotgun shells that I have, just in case I need another stick or something to protect myself.
So you're getting yourself gunpowder.
Yeah.
In a bag.
In a bag or anything that.
In a bag or your pockets? You tell me.
I think it would be best if I could find like a hard case or something. So maybe like removing all the pellets out of the shotgun and just loading it all with gunpowder because I need that compressed environment to create the result that I want.
Okay. Okay. All right. You guys don't notice this.
Okay.
I'm just looking up ahead. I am focused on home. It's gonna be such a great night when I get to sleep in a bed.
I'm looking for threats on the outside, not any coming from within, bad as that may be.
And Chuck?
I'm real ready to go home. I'm going to drop these people in town. I'm probably going to ride home that same night, get back to the homestead, put this all behind me. Yeah.
So I'm gonna. What I'd like to do is I'd like to get us. We've moved in. To move to Leadville here, and gotten there. And I want to, as our kind of conclusion of this, what happens to your characters when you guys get back to Leadville? Do you tell people what happened up at the mine?
May doesn't. If any of you go around telling the stories of what happened up there, May just says that some dynamite got out of hand while we were trying to excavate the cave. Some folks took some damage to the brain. Started seeing things, but I think they're all right now. A little while after that, she packs her things and heads off to a new town.
So you leave Leadville.
It's not safe for anyone if I stay in one place too long.
I'd like from you, what do you think was, well, let's just first do this, and then I've got another question for each character, but let's just kind of go with how your characters reintegrate to Leadville. How about you, Dr. Lee?
Well, as soon as I'm feeling like myself again, back to 100%, I'm going to take those samples that I got from the chunks that flew off of the zombies when we shot them, and now that I've got my 50 points worth of credit rate in lab, and that's where I invested all my money was in my doctor's office and my lab, pushing the boundaries of science. I have this new thing called vaccines. It's great. And I'm I'm just going to look at this under the microscope, and I'm just going to try and look in my different sorts of tomes that I've got and religious books that I've got to see if anything matches. But I'm going to keep it to myself unless another person of science that I trust could help me with this.
Excellent. And the interesting thing about the sample is that ooze, as you go through that, it's not blood or an infection. You're not even completely sure if it's biological.
Oh, that's fascinating.
It's a weird black, dark, viscous liquid of some sort that as you explore, you start exploring its properties. I'd like you, as you kind of, I'm assuming this is kind of our wrap up here.
Yes, certainly.
You, of course, are going to be the central figure of what no doubt is going to be the next Call of Cthulhu investigation
I hope
in Leadville.
so.
Because, of course, you start playing around with what this viscous liquid is. It seems alive, like a living shadow.
Oh, I wonder what it likes to eat.
Exactly. We'll stop.
Why did I say
Dot.
And Crazy Day and Crazy Chuck.
Crazy Chuck has probably become a staple of the town, ranting and raving about the shadows. And, there's probably a mythos of Leadville after this point, of spontaneously combusting corpses in graveyards. From
Crazy Chuck, you're killing, you're
making sure, doing what he can to keep Leadville safe.
A menace to the dead.
Awesome. So, do you ever go back, Crazy Chuck, to the mine?
Oh, never. And not really traveling at night at all. Like bright lights, otherwise cowering kind of situation.
And how about you, not so Crazy Chuck?
Well, first of all, I'd prefer it if you referred to me as Charles moving forward.
Character development.
But by and large, look, there's a great deal on this earth I don't understand, and vast majority of it I suppose I never will. So I suppose my real takeaway here is serves me right for getting mixed up with city folk.
All right, so basically, that is the wrap up of this. You guys never tell the town what happened, and the next, if I ever ran this again, the follow up would be the consequences of Dr. Lee's playing around with the sentient. Living darkness, black ooze.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? I want to thank you guys as players.
Thank you so much.
This was wonderful.
Thank you. This was wonderful.
Thank you guys.
This was such a fun game. Thank you so much.
And what also, just to let you know, from my point of view, the blast was you guys never even got close to the actual main
Sure. I imagine not. Dynamite happened instead.
This to me is the ideal solution to a Call of Cthulhu investigation. You investigated something. It was weird.
And we said no.
And you ran away.
Nope.
And we nearly lost half the party.
We did. That was a narrow thing.
Are we going to do a giveaway?
No,
No
apologies.
Anyone want to subscribe, a new subscriber to our channel at all? I have things to give away.
We have shinies.
They're very cool.
Well, if you'd like to. Oh, that was for you.
Great work.
Thank
Yes,
you guys.
please.
Real fast, before we're off, thank you for watching Creative Crits. We have a great Discord community. On that Discord community, we have soft role play that happens on that community. We have tons of games coming up. Please stay tuned. I think we're just going to keep this stream up and going, and we have a game in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Get out of the hot seat.
Are we off?
I think.